Hi, this is Dr. Doreen Downing, and partly what I do here on Wednesdays is to introduce our group and people on Facebook who come into this group, spotlight the members and give them a chance to come before you and share their gifts, their messages, their offers. And today we have Mel Larsen, who's a brand new friend to me. Hi, Mel.
Hi, Doreen. Thank you so much for having me in your group and spotlighting me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, well, it's always nice to hear the voice, the tone and whatever it is that is radiating from an essence inside of you. And I already feel a resonance with even the sound of your voice. It just is like syrup.
Oh, thank you so much. And I feel the same way about you. I liked you as soon as I heard your voice. You can tell a lot, can't you, from the voice?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, before we get into highlighting you, I want to read a little bio just so people get a sense of, well, how accomplished you are already. Yeah, Mel Larsen is an international business coach mentor guiding entrepreneurs and CEOs to valuable, measurable results such as attracting dream clients, doubling income, and building effective teams. And she's been coaching thousands of entrepreneurs to joyfully trust their big vision and strategically multiply their clients' income and impact. And over the last 30 years, her work has taken her around the globe, including USA. We'll need to talk about that. Where? Because I'm in there and I want to meet you face to face sometime, but also Russia, the Caribbean, Australia, New Zealand, Africa, Central Asia, and across Europe. Well, I've been to most of those places and I love traveling. So I'm going to be asking you about your travels too today.
Great.
Mel and her Dream Project community have raised over $34,000 for UK food banks and the Kiva organization. And she's author of Turn Your Vision into Results, Small Business Big Dream, and a guide to working with arts ambassadors. And she's also founded three thriving community-led festivals in South London for which she received a Civic Award. And she once did a Facebook Live every day for a whole year. Oh, Mel, I'm so glad I got to read that because people are probably already going, oh, look at you. How can I ever, measure up to you? And that's part of what we need to be looking at today, which is your topic, vision,
Mm,
and to have it be your own, not compared to somebody else,
mm,
to really value what you can bring to this universe, this world. So,
mm. Oh, thank you for that lovely warm welcome. It's very interesting to hear your accomplishments, your life read out to you, because of course, you just think, well, I'm just me. And then when you look at it, especially as you reach a certain age, you look back and think, yeah, I know stuff. I've done a few things. And I'd love to speak to that thing of, not comparing yourself to other people. I think it's spot on. A vision really works when it's your vision, when it's authentic, coming from your heart. And it doesn't really matter about the scale or what anyone else thinks, because our lives are such gifts to us. And it's really important that we live out our lives in the way that we choose. And the sad thing is, it can take time for many of us to realize that that's the case, because we're too busy pleasing our parents or our school or our culture, and time slips away. So I'm very happy that I found out what makes me happy, and I love helping people to do that through the modality of business.
good. I'm going to be curious about the how you did that. But first, I just want to respond to what you said about, and you put your hand on your heart. And I think that that's probably a clue. And I love the way that you are acknowledging that we all have gifts. So that's
Mm,
a message I want listeners to hear today is that there's a gift and you in the work that you do help focus us on what it is. But before we get into how you do that, I want to go back to, well, how did you find your own way inside to your heart, your gift? And yeah, because you did mention that we have layers of um, conditioning from our society and from our parents, and sometimes we get trapped in it. So tell us a
Mm.
little bit about your story.
Oh, goodness me. So, I want to start my story. I'll just give you some edited highlights because there's a lot of pieces to that, like you were just looking, alluding to those layers. But what flashed into my head into my mind when you asked that question was my mother. Because she is, I think, a very authentic person. And as I've gotten older, and she's still alive, thank goodness, so we've got a chance to like really connect as adults. I'm really realizing all the gifts she's given me, and one of them is I don't think she cares that much about what other people think, and she will say what she believes, and she finds joy in just being alive and is not that bothered by material things, although she likes stuff like we all do. But I know that I gained my sense of creativity and my sense of assessing people on not how much they earn, but how big is their heart from her. So I just want to start by honoring my mother and being really grateful for everything that she gave me. And Doreen, if you were interviewing me at age 18 or 20 or 30, I would not have said that. No, like my mother is on my back and she doesn't understand me. And I loved her, but it's like, as we mature, we really, if we're lucky enough, not everyone feels that way about their parents, to really appreciate what they gave us and to see them as human beings with all their faults and not expect them to be the most perfect people. So that's the first thing, is just really honoring the foundation that she gave me. And then in terms of vision, I really discovered the power of vision. I think there were two key catalysts. So one was this amazing book that I read. I think it would have been in my early 20s, and I'm like in my early 60s now. So it was called something like The Power of Visualization by Shakti Gawain.
Wayne, she lives I'm in California, and
Right.
she's a local here. And
Oh
there's
my
a lot of
goodness.
connections I could make right now about her mother, my mother, and and
Oh,
the fact that you just said something about your mother. So it just feels like, oh, so many threads are coming together right now. But
yes.
it's Shakti Gawain. Yeah.
Yes. Just so beautiful. I love the synchronicities. So
Yes.
I'm having a lot of those lately, by the way. But the book really got me into the power of visualization because the book is essentially a guide on
Yeah.
visualizing. And when I picked that book up in my 20s, I can't remember where I found that book, probably in a bookshop because I was a real bookhead, still am, love reading. And I was really finding it quite hard to have abundance in my life, to have self-belief. Life felt challenging in my early 20s. And her book was basically one of the first times that I encountered someone saying, you can have what you want, you can become who you want, you can have the life you want. And it was just like absolute nectar to me. And I began practicing visualization at that time, literally closing my eyes and imagining, saying affirmations, all the stuff she recommends in the book. And I began to visualize very material things. Like, this is going to sound silly, but this was me in my early 20s. I was renting a tiny flat. I think it was, no, it was a room. I was sharing a room in a house full of students or something and young people. And I didn't have very much money. And I really wanted a beautiful rug and a really nice table. And through the visualization, I was able to save money. So I got really focused and I bought this amazing rug, which we threw out a couple of months ago. I had that rug for decades,
Uh-huh.
decades, because it was a relatively expensive rug for me.
Mhm.
And it brought so much beauty into my life. Although it probably sounds really trivial and silly, it was a miracle to me at the time because being able to afford a really nice piece of decor felt like it was out of my league. And I started then to try it with things like different jobs that I wanted and that kind of thing. And then the second piece around visualizing was discovering the power of vision boards and discovering coaching and the personal development world and doing lots of courses and discovering that if you created a vision board, it was like a way of seeing what was inside of you. And now neuroscientists really endorse this and say it absolutely works, but back in the day it was kind of like this woo-woo thing. But I knew it worked because when you've done something, it works for you. You don't need science to prove it. You're just like, this is my personal experience and it has brought, so much into my life. And many of my clients have said to me, my vision board worked, because it basically focuses your mind. It works with your subconscious mind, which we all know is very powerful. And, they're finding out more and more how much our subconscious mind drives a lot of our choices and our lives and how our lives turn out. And so, I did a lot of personal development courses over many years, leadership courses, heart opening courses, you name it, I did it. And vision boarding ran all the way through that. And the results were so miraculous. I created a vision board. I wanted more money. Money started to flow. I created a vision board. I wanted to be a leader. What is a leader? Am I really a leader? Can I do it? I became someone who leads. Just things that were like felt incredible to me. Yeah.
I have one on the man that I married.
Oh,
Oh, if I had it, I would show it to you right now. I
oh,
so
yeah.
understand the power of not only vision, but living in it. I have lots of stories, but I want to come back to and stay focused on you.
Mhm.
But I just so thrilled and excited to hear and wanted to affirm that yes, that following you feels like I'm remembering my own journey
Yeah.
of awakening and what's possible, and then be able to create all sorts of things. Even the place I live was a
Yeah.
visualization. And we call it manifestation nowadays, which
Mhm.
actually I kind of like just calling it visualization. And manifestation kind of feels like trying to, I don't know, push something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you respond to what I just said.
I love that. I love the term visualization because it was my entry point. I,
Uh-huh.
I don't mind the term manifestation either, and I probably use them both.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I use the term dream, sometimes I say vision.
Yes, you have. I love dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so as long as the word brings a bit of magic to it and a bit of energy,
Yes.
happy to use it. And we all have different preferences, and that's completely okay. I love the vision board for your husband. That
Yeah.
is just wonderful. That you can vision board pretty much anything, So
Yes. Yes.
I've done it with having ideas, leadership, money, selling. Creating a vision board around selling is amazing because so many people, especially women in business, I'm working a lot with women entrepreneurs, fear selling. They find it icky, weird, scary, a place where you go to be rejected. And creating a vision board around selling is so powerful because you can transform your relationship to it. I wonder if I don't know if I've got that to hand. No, that's a shame. I have an amazing vision board around selling, and oh, here it is. And I just pulled out some.
There
I'm
you
not
go.
not going to show them all, but I just thought
Uh-huh.
this.
Yes.
This is my
Yes.
vision board around selling because I really wanted to have a
Meet
health.
the future, expand your mind, walk with, I can't see what the word is.
Walk with me.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
So
That's the invitation for our
yes, you got it.
clients to walk with me.
Oh, I love that you got it straight
Yes.
away. Like,
Yes.
not like buy, buy, buy. It's like walk with me.
Oh,
Let
thank you.
me
Thank
guide
you.
you into something amazing. And, let's
Uh-huh.
get your candles lit so that you're
Yes.
really. building the business of your dreams. And
Uh-huh.
this is much more aligned with how I like to relate
Yeah.
to people than
Look
this
at love way up there at the top
love.
here for
I'm
you.
here for you,
Yeah.
you know. And this image
Ah,
just said to me something about the sacred and the candles.
yes.
I this totally changed my feelings and thoughts about selling because before it was like sometimes it could feel desperate, sometimes it could feel shameful, difficult, something I would avoid until I realized it's actually an act of service. And if someone says no, that's fine. They're just
Yeah.
there isn't an energetic match right now.
Uh-huh.
Um, but coming from that place of like really showing someone how I can support them, there were more yeses. And I feel good about it because I'm living inside of that vision board. The old
Yes.
way was no fun.
Uh-huh. Well, there's something about because I'm a psychologist and I know people have wounds around, expressing themselves or abandonment wounds. Ah, they're not going to like me or
Yeah,
whatever. So, but what I love, yeah, I like working around getting to the roots of what stops them from being able to show up like you're talking about.
yeah.
But I also love that what you're tapping into is something deeper. Yes, there's psychological trauma, but deeper is this soulful heart kind of place where the truth is for you, what
Mm,
radiance and what your purpose happens to be in life, and
mm.
why you would invite anybody to walk with you.
Oh, I love that. I love the
Yeah.
word you're using. And as you were saying, that deeper part, you know, whatever trauma we've been through, however wounded we feel, there is always that really beautiful spark inside of us.
Yes.
That, if we can find it, resurrect it, or realize it's always been there, it's the most wonderful, wonderful experience. So I can hear that we're doing similar work through different modalities, but just helping people to find that eternal flame, for want of a better
Oh,
expression.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I just love listening to you. I feel like and I'm sure people are enjoying you right now, just saying, yes, she is so bright and spirited and hopeful and uplifting. And I this whole idea of helping people tap into a place that has energy, more energy and more alignment with truth. Wanted to show you one of my vision boards, but they aren't accessible. But
I'd
in
love
any
to see
case,
them.
but it is powerful. So
Mm,
let's yeah, time goes by quickly here.
mm,
I'm
yeah.
thrilled I could just dance around you with questions. Is there anything specifically that you want to be bringing today to our listeners?
Oh, what an amazing question. Let me just breathe that one in. Um, yeah, I want to say because we were talking about vision and that flame and the information you put out about this talk was highlighting 50 and beyond, like your vision can live to well into the midlife and to the end of your life, frankly. I want
Hello, I'm 70. I'm in
oh
my 70s,
you
so
look
way
amazing.
beyond 50.
There you go. So right and you
Yeah.
just full of life and love and beauty and joy, and you're helping people to heal and get their voice out there. And that is really my message in response to your invitation is it's just never too late to have your vision and have it come true. And my modality is business, mainly women, not only women.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of women can feel like it's too late for me to be successful. In my early 50s, that was a turning point for me because I was a successful consultant. I was earning reasonable money, but it was like one day I woke up, like me and my husband woke up, and it was like, we are in our 50s and we don't own anywhere. And I know there are different cultures around owning, home ownership in different parts of the world, but for us, we did not want to continue renting. It didn't make sense, and especially not in London. And then we looked around and we were like, I was like, I don't have any savings. My husband had some. And we're in London, the prices are astronomical. And then we just decided to create this impossible vision and make it happen. To cut a long, long story
Oh,
short,
oh,
within 5 years, we had found a place to live. We bought it, and that being able to buy it was a miracle. We did everything we could to pull that money in because we had to find an astronomical an amount of money. It was close to about 100,000 from a couple of people who didn't really have much money, who were in their 50s, so that we could get the deposit for the mortgage. And then once we'd achieved that, it was almost like something changed in our brains. And 5 years, sorry, 3 years on from the original 5 years, so no, not enough money, no mortgage, no hope. 5 years later, we bought a house. 3 years later, we had paid for the house in entirety. We'd paid off the whole mortgage, which is pretty phenomenal for two people who don't have corporate jobs, London prices, and from a kind of standing start. And I love to tell that story because some people listening might think buying a house is easy. Their struggle may not be money. It might be there is no partner for me out there. There's no man or woman out there for me.
mhm,
Someone might think my life is over. There's no more fun anymore, no more creativity. But there are so many examples of mature women, mature men, people of any gender making their dreams come true. It never stops. For as long as we're breathing, as long as you're breathing, you can have a dream and make it happen. I know that in my bones because I've lived it. Yes, some things get harder as we get older. The menopause hit me hard initially, but it doesn't always have to be you doing stuff. You know, we can bring in teams and people who support us and we can prioritize more. So I guess when I'm coaching, when I and my team are coaching our clients, we are coming from that place of it's still all possible. And it is mostly mature women that come to us because they can feel that message. And there are many more stories I could tell. There isn't enough time. But for me, that home ownership was a big one because it wasn't just about the money, it wasn't just about my age, it was about an age-old story about how my parents split up when I was 13 and we lost our family home. And somewhere deep inside,
mhm.
I decided I can never have a dream home because the minute we have a home, we're going to lose it and there's going to be trauma and loss. So it's like really hard for me to break through that very, very deep set belief that owning a home equals tragedy, equals trauma. And you know, my husband would say to me, "You're putting your foot on the gas. You're putting your foot on the brake. Sorry, not on the gas, on the
Yeah,
brakes.
yeah, both
You
at the
know,
same time. So you're not really.
oh, you know." And I would be like, "I really want to own a home." He'd be like, "But you're not doing anything. You're like stalling." And I couldn't see that I was stalling because that little 13-year-old inside of me was like scared that things were going to go wrong. So it was like this massive transformation. At this, mature age. So you can transform at any age those old beliefs. If you feel like, if you're watching this, you feel like I can't speak in public, I'm sure Doreen will help you with that, or I can't start a business, I'm too old. All of those things, none of it's true. My oldest client today, I'm allowed to share this, was 82, and she said, "Can you help me?"
Oh,
And I said, "Yes, I can definitely help you get your first client. It's going to take a while because we've got to work out what your product is, etc." She got her first two clients and she contacted me the other day and said, "I've got 6 clients, regular clients, not worried about money." 82, and she's just getting started. She's really excited about life. So that's a long answer, but that's what came through as you asked me that I just felt inspired to share today is don't believe the rubbish out there that age means it's over. It's absolute BS.
thank you. Thank you so much. And what you pointed to was what I was referring to a little bit earlier, that there are the layers and the patterns and what we've come to believe about ourselves based on trauma or the way we grew up. But you're saying there, you're helping people say you can believe differently. You can, and dreaming is about a new belief, bringing a new belief into existence.
Yes.
So, uh,
I love how you put that. It really is. And I
yeah.
bringing it into existence is what in the old days, they would call magic.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes. And you used magic a few minutes ago too. So I know that that infuses, because we do, those of us who happen to tune in, be sensitive souls, can access, energies that we bring to our clients and help them tap into them also. Oh, I'm so thrilled to have met you and to have a conversation to open and share your brilliance. And let's see, I know I just asked, are you sure you want to be, what is it you want to be sharing today? And you did do that very articulately. But since we are getting closer to the end, uh, let me see. So I'm 77, just turned
Mm,
77. I'm a Virgo. I just a couple days ago had my birthday. And I have a book called The Art of Possibility by
mm,
Benjamin Zander. And it sounds similar to what you're talking about, is that every moment is a new moment and it's filled with this kind of energy that is creative. And if we there's a way in which we can tap into that artfulness, that life is an art, life is a work of art. And
mm.
it's not like we're shutting down, we're always opening up. And that's what you've brought to me today. And I haven't really been using the word dream, but I'm going away with that today.
Oh,
So
good.
folks out there listening, that word is a powerful word, and it captures a lot of what I think Mel has talked about today. What is your dream? And it's not just like some dream that's floating around. It's like a dream comes from inside of you. It's not
Mm,
outside of you. So,
mm. For sure, and if we allow it to come through, it
yeah.
can appear when we're in deep silence, or it can appear when we're dancing and feeling ecstatic, or just in conversation, or you might be watching a film and suddenly think that's so inspiring. It can strike at any moment if we allow it. And by the way, I am not here to say, hey, I've got it all handled, I have a perfect life. I don't. I'm not always in that state. I have bad days. I have sometimes weeks where I don't experience possibility, but I've had a lot of training in that area. So I keep bringing myself back into that space. And as you described it, I mean, it is the most utterly wonderful way to live when you remember, like you were saying, the book, The Art of Possibility, the possibility is always there.
Mhm.
And I love that space. I think it's such a gift when you've been reminded that it exists there. We often feel it like when we fall in love, or, something great happens, but to have the training which you often get for the kind of work you do, me as a coach, you're like trained over and over again to analyze, how am I thinking? What's my mental model? What are my beliefs? So you kind of start to notice when you're either in that space or not, and keep moving back into that space of dream. Anything is possible. The other thing I want to add, by the way, is dreaming is one part. There is, in business at least, the work of making it happen. We can't avoid the work. We're in these material bodies, we're in the world of matter, and there are things to be done as well. So, I'm very interested in two areas, mindset and strategy. And when we put them together, it really works. I was reading today, someone was saying they worked a lot with very elite sports people. Can't remember who it was, something I read online. And they were saying there's a point at which you can train your body to be the best, if you're in sports. And then there's a point where what really gives you the edge is your mindset, how you think and how far you're prepared to go. And I like to combine the two things. So the action you need to take as a business person, but also that mental agility. And when you put those two things together, you can be unstoppable. So, we've talked a lot about mindset today and dreaming and believing. I also work a lot with strategy. I'm fascinated by marketing and how to be visible, how to put your message across. Communications fascinates me endlessly. So there's like there are different pieces to this game of this magical, I'm using that word again, this magical game of visioning and then having it happen.
Yeah, the magical game of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, my dear. Last words. What's there for you?
Oh my goodness, my last words. Well, the first thing that sprang to mind is I can see that you're with someone with a very kind heart, and it's really great to be in your presence. So I have to say that, and it doesn't surprise me that your work is about authenticity and speaking out and finding your voice. I just really get that about you, and I really thank you. I felt very heard by you in this conversation, and that's a really lovely experience.
Yeah.
And then what else do I want to say? The world is in a real shake-up right now. Without getting super political, I personally don't love some of the leadership being displayed in different parts of the world. And it is my greatest wish that change makers among us really focus on how do we create a world of respect and inclusion and equity and harmony and well-being. And to even say that out loud can sound somewhat naive in today's world. But I want more people to say that out loud. And yes, we may have our differences, especially politically. If we don't find a way to work together, I think there's going to be a lot of pain for everyone. So, part of my work is finding change makers who want to bring their version of that message through whatever their business is. And I think business is a great place to be seen, to help people to have ethical businesses, compassionate businesses, collaborative businesses. It's a fantastic empowering tool, especially for women to be in business because it kind of forces you to grow as a human being. It forces you to focus on being of service. It forces you to focus on getting to grips with abundance in all its forms. And if you really have your eyes open, it makes you think, what is the legacy of my business going to be? So, that's what I and my team are here to do is to really support, in particular, women, not always, but mostly women who want to make a difference, like yourself, positive difference through the work that they do. And I think that a lot of the change we see coming forward over the next few decades may not come from leaders that are visible every time we go on the screen. It's more like people in communities gathering together, making a difference through their businesses, through their communities, and yeah, contributing in that way. That's my hope, anyway.
Beautiful. There were so many wonderful words that you threaded together. Collaborative was one that stood out for me. And I feel like today has been a collaboration, two hearts and minds coming together. And one last thing that I want to say is in your vision board, you had love at the top. And I feel like I've fallen in love with you and that people, and I think that that's part of what, makes people attracted to working with people like us is because there's integrity and that uh, we're lovers of life. Let's put it that way.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. And the feeling's mutual. You're a heart opener. That's what I would say about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
What a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
And bye to anyone who's watching. Hopefully, you enjoyed
Yeah.
the conversation.